everyone, my name is Amelia and I work at the Polk County Public Libraries, and today I'm going to show you how to make a tin can luminary for this week's adult take and make activity. Now, if you stop by the Columbus or Saluda Library at some point this week, you can pick up a bag that has all of the materials you'll need for this activity. So you'll get the tin can, you'll get a nail, you'll get a very small hammer, and you'll also get a tea light. Now, the one that I'm using in this example is a battery operated tea light. So if you choose to go that way, you can purchase those pretty cheaply. I actually got these at the Dollar Tree. So, and it came in a pack of 4. So you can make a couple of these and use battery operated ones if you'd like, but in your kit, there's included a real tea light candle. Okay, so I'm gonna leave that right there for our example. And to start off with our activity, we have to pick out the leaf that we want to use. So included in your kit is a page that looks kind of like this. It has an assortment of leaves on it. Mine only has 3 because I found out very quickly which one I want to use. I'm going to try to tackle this one. So I'm going to cut it out with scissors first. And I'll loosely cut it out first. And this is exactly the process that I went through for the example one. So the example one is just a simple leaf, okay? And after I was done with my project, I decided that I didn't want the can to be silver, so I painted it a rusty red color. So you could paint your can orange or a fall color, and it makes a really nice centerpiece when you put several of them together. You might want to put different sizes together. So I have a couple different sizes of cans here, but you could put several different sizes together, do different things. You could stack them if you wanted in different ways, but I just think they're really cute for fall. Okay, so like I said, I'm gonna cut out my template for my leaf. It doesn't have to be perfect. Something to keep in mind with this activity is all leaves are different, right? And if you have a leaf that is not identifiable, that's okay too. So just aim to get something on the can that looks similar to a leaf and you'll be all right. I just thought this one was fun because of all the nice sharp edges, so that's what I'm going for. I'm just cutting away. You can use your leaf templates that are in your bag. I thought an acorn might be a nice one to have on a tin can. That would be kind of nice for fall. You could do a jack-o'-lantern face if you wanted to go for a Halloween type display. You could even use, if you want to make this more of a family activity, you could take your family on a nature walk and have your children pick out leaves. If not, go on a nature walk by yourself and find a leaf that speaks to you. Maybe you just love the color of it, and you'll do the same process that I'm doing. You won't cut it out of paper, obviously, but you'll use the leaf just like I'm going to use this template in just a minute on my can, and we're going to trace out the pattern. So I'm just going to finish getting these little edges of my leaf cut. And this is an activity that you'll want to probably do outside just because you are going to be hammering a lot and it will make a lot of noise. So if you have the ability to do it outside, that is highly recommended. Also, the weather has been so nice that you may want to enjoy being outside. So that nice crisp fall air is finally here. Seems like we waited forever for it to get here this year. Okay, so I'm just getting the stem of my leaf finished up. Okay, perfect. So as you can see, my leaf is not exactly cut out perfect, but it's close enough for what I want it to be. All right, so I'm gonna take my scraps and move them over to the side, and I'm gonna pick which can I wanna use. I'm gonna use the can size that most of you have in your kit, and it's the standard like soup size vegetable cans that you would get at the store. This one, if you wanted to go for a slightly bigger option, I think this was a can of pineapple, but I'm not sure, or a can of pumpkin. Okay, if you're making a pumpkin pie, save the can. All right. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay my leaf on here. If you want to use tape, you can do that too, certainly. And I'm going to kind of position it as to how I want it on my can. I'm going to tilt mine a little bit because my leaf is a little bit longer than my can, and that's okay. So I'm going to use a marker. You can use a Sharpie marker or just a regular marker. Something that's dark enough to, if you trace out the edges of your leaf, you'll be able to see it. Okay. And it doesn't have to be perfect. It just needs to be a line that you can see, because these are the lines that we're going to nail around using our hammer and nail. Okay, and I'm using a brown marker, and that seems to be working okay. On my first example, I used a black marker. And if you plan on painting over it, you don't have to worry about the line being there. If you're not going to paint over it, you can use warm water and wash it off. Or you can, if you're using a permanent marker, you can use hand sanitizer and that will take it off as well. So if you do decide to leave it the tin can color, you have options. All right, so you can't see this, but I can. It's a very light outline of my shape of my leaf, okay? And I'm not going to hammer around the whole thing for the purposes of this video, and I'm recording in the library, so I'm hoping I don't bother too many people using hammer, but that's okay. All right, so in your kit, you have one of these hammers. It is a small hammer, but a hammer nevertheless. And we are going to use our nail, and on our line all the way around our can, we're going to hammer the nail just partially the way in, pull it out, and then that's what's going to leave your void space. If you are worried about denting the can by pressing too hard or hammering too hard or missing this, especially if you're planning on doing this activity and letting your children help, sometimes they miss hitting the nail and they'll hit the actual can. So to avoid getting dents in the can, if you wanted to, you could fill your can up with water, freeze it. Okay, it will be really cold, obviously, because it's frozen, but that will hold its shape if you're worried about hitting and denting the can. I wasn't worried about that with mine. Mine turned out okay, but it's up to you. It does work the other way. I have experimented with that as well. Okay, so I see my little lines here, and I'm just gonna go for it. Okay, so my nail is partially in. You can feel it when it goes all the way through the metal. Then you just pull it out. All right, as evenly as you can space these, try to do that, just because that keeps your design more consistent, okay? Okay, perfect. You want to make sure it gets all the way through. That way you have a nice hole all the way around. Okay, all right. Well, I wish you luck in making your luminaries. If you do this activity and it turns out really well, or even if it doesn't turn out really well, still take a picture of it, send it to us here at the library to the email address that's on the next slide, and you'll be entered to win a gift card at the end of October. So I wish you luck and have lots of fun.